Hi, how are you doing? Hope you're well and safe and having a great day. I'm having a great day stuck in my studio. Well, I'm not stuck in it. I'm happy to be in here. It's miserable and cloudy outside, but I'm nice and toasty in here. And I've been playing around on my iPad. I saw this painting and it inspired me to try different techniques, but all these techniques work better. Each technique worked better in a different app. So for the first time ever, I am starting a painting in one app, moving it into another, then into another, and back to the first one again, and so on and so forth. So let's just find out what all these apps are and see how I produce this painting. So I want to paint a picture using several different apps, all excelling in different things. And I'm beginning with Zenbrush 3. All I want to do is export a blank canvas because this is the app I'm going to be finishing my piece in, and I want every piece or every step of the way, I want the canvas to be the same size. So if I export a blank canvas from Zenbrush 3, I know it will import into this with the same aspect ratio. So what have we got going off here? Well, if we look at the paper, you can see that we have got the watercolor paper selected and layers. We've got one layer, that's all we need, and there's no painting or anything on it. That's just a blank canvas. Click on the three little dots to export. Choose export, and then at that stage select 4K 4096 by 2989 pixels. Choose PNG. You can have it with a transparent background or a PNG. It'll export it as a transparency either way. I think with my testing it appeared to. With a JPEG, you will get the textured background, but I just want an empty canvas. So I'm just going to save that image, and that will export that and put that into my photos on the iPad. I've not put it in the cloud or anything like that. So that is Zenbrush 3 finished with for a minute. The next app I'm going to open is going to be Procreate. So going into Procreate, I am going to go to photo and select this white space here, which is the one I've just exported. And if we just go back to the gallery, we'll see that that's got the right pixel size to import back into Zenbrush. So basically what I want to use Procreate for is just to create a background. I want a really grungy background, and Procreate has got one of the best brushes I know for grunge, and that is, funnily enough, called the Grunge brush, and it's in the textures, I believe, textures folder, Grunge. There we are. Select that. Oh, I want to mess about with it, and I want to change the background color as well. So select color. I'm just going to make it a grungy. It's really light coloured, warm tone like that. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be putting other colours on top of this, so I don't want it too dark. So let's just go in with a warmer orange, maybe something like that. I've got the opacity not completely up. I've got the brush maxed out because I just want to. I want a darker colour, make it a bit darker so I can see it. That's it, just so I can start getting some grungy texture on here. And I'm just sort of just going over the canvas, splashing it all over, getting this grungy look. Change the colour a bit. Light pressure really, look. I'm just sort of filling in some of the gaps. Leaving some of the other bits. What I'm going to do is put a charcoal drawing over this. But I'm not going to do it in Procreate because I don't think Procreate's got the best charcoal brushes. So I'm not sure which app I'm going to use for that yet. I haven't tested this out. This is an experiment, so we'll see. I'm thinking Artset might be worth having a look at. Artstudio Pro. We're getting a nice grungy feel to this. Darker. I think we're looking good. I'm looking at the recorded screen and I'm looking at my iPad, and my iPad, the colours are much more muted than they are on the screen. I think we're nearly there. I'll do. Yeah, that's my grungy texture background that I'm going to be working on. So I just go to the spanner. Is it a spanner? Share, yeah. PNG, exporting. And I don't want to save it to files or anything like that. I'm just going to save it as an image so I can work on it like that. That is Procreate done with. Right, so the next app I'm going into is Artstudio Pro. Let's open that one up, and I'm going to add a new painting from photos. This time I'm picking my grungy canvas because that's going to help me judge everything as we go in. I hope this works because this is a total experiment. I'm going to go to view, look for reference panel. Oh, and I've already loaded this photo. I was messing about earlier to see how to try and memorize where this photo was, so it wouldn't take me so long to find it. But basically you just click on the three dots and load from photos, and then that will come up. That saved me a fair bit of time. And this, oops, is the scene I am going to do. That's for reference for you guys, really. I'm going to make that a bit smaller. Just pop it out of the way. Put it up there. That's as good a place as any. Double tap to get rid of those strokes. Now, I want to make sure I'm on a different layer. I do not want to be drawing on this grunge layer. So, as you can see, I would have been. So, let's get a new layer. I wonder if I can lock this layer. Don't see any way I can. Maybe not then. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to draw on it, am I? Right, this is my layer. I might just actually make that background a little bit lighter. and I'll just do that with using the opacity, I guess. Is it going to go dark? Oh no, that's not going to work. Let's create a new layer. Fill it in with white. How do I do that? Edit. Fill. Color fill. White. Okay, that's cool. It's just like Photoshop, isn't it? Done with that. Pull that away for a second. Oh, click on the little plus icon. That's cool. Drag that layer below the one. Can I move them about? Yeah, I can. And on this one, I can just knock the opacity back a bit. Is it really worth it? It's not, is it? I'm going to delete that, forget that. Right, so brushes then. If I go into my brushes, I've already tested this and I like this fine charcoal in the charcoal brush set. I've done nothing to it. I haven't changed any settings, so it's straight out of the tin, as it were. I'm going to start sketching. I want black. Have we got a layer to work on? I want that layer. I was going to delete this layer. To that layer. Start. Just getting in the main features to start with, and I might rescale the size of it. That's wrong, isn't it? Straight away. I prefer to use an eraser to undo, really. I'm going to make sure I've got space to put these windows in. It's like 3 little windows there. Look, 1, 2, 3. We've got a bay window here. Chimney stack. That's for the flat roof. Well, not the flat roof, the pitch roof, sorry. That. Looking all right. So here. Here. I'm really excited to see how this comes out. Can't wait to get the colour on it. And I'm just going to be doing colour washes in Zenbrush 3. I could do some filling in shadows and things and hatching in this app. That's fine. That's not quite right. A bit more of a gap than that. Better. We've got this dormer over the top of that. Just going to change my brush for the eraser, and I am going to use the charcoal. I'll use the same one, same brush. Oops. Did it? Is that going to Right, okay. Why is that, I wonder? Let's go with erasers, make it simple. What I didn't get there was, how did it work with that Zenbrush as an eraser, but not pastel? I haven't used this app much, I have to say. For a while, I used to use it quite a lot, but kind of stopped using it. I don't know why, really. Let's zoom in a bit so I can see what I'm doing. Better. Probably take that brush size down a bit, actually. Got it too small there. There we go. Oops. Bit of lag or something going off there then. It's just fine. I think I've said this before about this app. You go, the adjustment on the brushes all of a sudden jumps massively. It's probably exaggerated a bit, but it's all right. Key. I'll just concentrate on the buildings for now. I'm going to just adjust this a bit. You know what? Let's get rid of that. Tweaking it as we go. Better. It's kind of better. Yeah. Now the dormer window there. Oh, sorry, bay window. This whole piece, I want it to have a kind of a grunginess about it. So I don't want neat, super neat lines or anything like that. I've got a window that that needs to be more like that. There we go. Kind of like that, like that. That's better. Yeah. I wonder if we did some sort of smudging and stuff. Just an idea. Just to sort of push it around a bit. I don't know. Almost as if we've wet the pastels. Kind of quite like that idea. Sort of smudge that down like that. Look. That's quite nice. Saved a little bit of work. So I was putting the angle of the roof, the pitch of the roof on that. This is a great app, you know. Should make more use of it. Oh, I got that wrong. That's more like that. Comes like that. Get the eraser, just fiddle with that a bit. Ooh, I'm digging it, man. Where are we going from here? I'm doing the easy bits, what I'm doing before I get to the boats. I might make this a lot smaller when the time comes. We've got building in here. Oh, that's about right. Down to about there. Okay, measuring all the while. That's quite important. That, and I need to go more like that. I'm really liking that blending brush just for putting some textures in. Coming over here. Got another window here, just this side. Pop that in. That now lets me see where that goes. That. Okay, cool. That goes out, juts out a bit. This chimney stack. Well, let's put this line nearly, not quite horizontal, and then I can judge where I'm going to put my chimney stack there. I'm just going to tout it a little bit. Just a touch high. Doing it again. I always draw with the full size of the canvas, sort of all on the screen, and then I don't get to do any detail like this brickwork. Fiddling that in a bit. Shadow going up here. I can do that with that blending brush. So we've got bits of blending, and we've got pencil work or charcoal work going over the top of that. Got this grungy look here. Like that. It's all filling up quite nice. We've got another chimney stack here. Put this one in. Quite a bit higher than that one. Seem to have the roof cutting through there. Like that. That's it. That kind of brush thing going off. Like I was just zooming so you can see what I'm doing. Just really squiggly bricks. This is more shade than that side, so I'm gonna do that. On the top we've got this little thing like that. Of a brick wall. I can see I need to make everything a bit smaller. Let me do it. Select it and then that tool, I guess. No. So it wasn't straightforward how to transform the scale. What I had to do, I had to click on these three little dots here, and that gives you a set of menu options. Then click on these three dots and just keep scrolling down and scrolling down until we got to the edit section, and there was something that said transform. I'm sure it was in edit. Oh, it won't be in add now because I've already added it. So in edit, you'll see the word transform. You click on it and it will add that to the list. And here it is, look, transform. So I delete that, remove it, now disappeared, come back again. Edit, transform. There we go. Now, once I've done that, I can shut this all down and I've got this selected. So I go to transform and I can adjust the scale. So once that's there, it's dead easy, but I didn't have that on the menu option. Never seen that before. Don't know why not. Then just click on the little plus to adjust it, because I want to, I think, maybe got it too small now actually. So what I'm actually going to do is cancel that, and then double tap, move it across a bit, and then resize it just a tiny little bit. Probably enough for now. The reason I undid it was I'm not sure if you shrink it down and then make it big again, it's going to pixelate it. So let's show you what I mean. If I transform that and make it really tiny, just process that, then transform it again. See how it's all pixelated? Well, it's fuzzy. So that's why I undid it. Okay, so back to the drawing. Wow, that took a little while. I've left all that in because I want to show you that, you know, you swap around with apps and stuff, you can't remember everything all the time. It's just crazy. Let's deselect everything. It's just too much to remember all the time. A bit of build going off here, like that. This one here. Use that smudge tool. I don't like what I've done there. I've sort of not done the mortar joints correct. You don't put bricks like this. You stagger them. So that's would be wrong, totally wrong. Pretty obvious this is really, isn't it? You do them like that. Look. Otherwise your building wouldn't stay. It wouldn't stay up. Let's just sort of colour in a few of these bricks like that. Now we've got a bit of a shadow going under here as well, like that. We could do that with that blending brush. How are we looking? Yeah, it's looking pretty okay at the minute. This is going to be right into there like that now. So is that. And that when comes up a bit. Yeah. Sort of like that, and then we've got this building here coming down, window, all that in, and then this sort of shadowy stuff on here, like that. Right, this is pretty much similar stuff now for a while. I'm just going to carry on doing the buildings, and I'll come back when I do the boats. Otherwise, we're going to get a huge long video again, and I don't want that. So I will speed it up from this point. Right, that's pretty much the buildings finished for now. I'm going to come back into them a bit later on. But let's look at the boats. I put that guy in to sort of give me a bit of idea of perspective and where the boat's going to be and fit. So that's what that was all about. Okay, let's move that back up out of the way. Right, the boat then. Somebody taught me that you could do like a figure of 8 for boats a long time ago. Like that. His name, I think, was David Bellamy. Well, I don't think I know it was. And it's a watercolorist. I was watching one of his videos back in the 90s, and it really is a kind of a easy way getting these boats in, and it works. Check that out. We're good at that. Quick way. Just crashing in a boat. When I say he taught me, I mean I watched one of his videos. That was before the internet had been invented. Well, that's not strictly true. The internet had been invented, but nobody, general public, weren't using it then as such. You wanted to learn anything, you would get a book, and I got a massive library of books on watercolor painting, or you'd rent a video, or you'd go to an art class. And I went to a night class for watercolor painting in the early 90s, and I never looked back from there really. I just loved it. I mean, I'd always had a passion for art and has always done something, but you know, whether it was related to the work I did, which was sort of sign writing, sign painting, which was really, you know, heavily based towards you know, an art background, and then I got into the more sort of fine art painting in the early 90s. After my daughter was born, my Charlotte, the lovely Charlotte, who's the mother of Killy, I took up painting when she was, I think, 2 years old, I think. And it was because I felt like my life had stopped. I'd spent 2 years absolutely doting on this little girl and doing everything for her, really. You know, my life had gone on hold, and I thought after 2 years, I thought, well, what's going off here? You know, I'm not doing anything socially for me as much as I love my daughter. At that time I only had the one, of course, and came along later, and so I decided, well, me and my brother, my bro, twin brother, decided to take a night class. and it was really just a social thing where we would go and paint in watercolors, and then we'd take a detour on the way home to the Rubber Dub pub and have a few jars, and generally just enjoy life. And that was really what got me into painting big time, doing exhibitions, and it wasn't long once I'd taken the class. Within 3 years, I think it was, I was exhibiting, doing my own sort of one-man exhibitions. Entered what was called the Derby Open. I don't know if it still exists, but it was Derby's a city in the UK. And each year they'd have the Derby Open, and you could enter your art, your paintings into the competition, and I did that, and I won best painting in all media, my very first attempt. So I thought, oh, that's cool. I need to enter that again. So just the one time I entered that. It was really cool. And my brother didn't continue painting like I did. He was running a sign business and didn't seem to have as much time as I had, working as a lecturer for college. And because I'd sort of gone into the art, I started moving more into teaching watercolor painting. I started my own night class after about 5 or 6 years. And I was, competent. I run a night class at a local community college, exactly like the one that I was a member of earlier, a few years earlier. That was good times. And then everything went a bit pear-shaped. Everything went a bit pear-shaped, and I went off the rails for about 14 years. That's an whole new story. Or a whole other story. And then I met Special K. I've gone into automatic pilot with this drawing now, with talking. It's amazing, I say you can't talk when you're painting, or I can't. I struggle with it, and I have to say that I have to say that if I'm talking just rubbish, like I was just sort of talking about my past life and what have you, I can waffle along and concentrate on the painting at the same time. But if I want to talk about the painting and paint at the same time, then that's a whole different ball game, and I don't find that quite as easy. I've said many times. Just adjusting that to angle a little bit there. We've got this box thing here. Running. I mean, this is a jumble. Look, let's just make this a bit bigger for. Oh, I'll make this. Yeah. Look at that. It's just a jumble, isn't it? So I'm going to draw a jumble. I'm not even going to try and decipher what that is. Just going to some lines and things and let your eye fill it in for me. A squiggle in there and stuff, and then we've got this path. If I kind of bring that path across like that and then out there, and that comes down at this building here, path, so I can sort of put that in, and then we've got this got a post going in here. Just trying to put in a few things that can be recognized and then just add some random junk. Take that in. Get that blender. This scene, by the way, is Weymouth. It's where me and Special K went this summer for a break. First proper break we've had since the outbreak of the COVID infection. Just went for a week. That was really cool. It's nice to get away. And I took a decent camera with me, and I didn't even take it out of the camera bag, to be honest. I just use my phone. This is a monstrously long drawing for me. I'd usually, finish everything off within an hour or so. Don't know how long I've been on this already. Quite a while. All these people up here, aren't we? Some little people in. And umbrellas. Lots of umbrellas going off. Clean up under there. People. Something boxy there. Which is cool because that sort of throws that forward. Throws the wall forward. A few more people, just dots really. We've got a guy, some railings there, and we've got a guy leaning on those railings. Of course, that looks like a guy leaning on the railings, doesn't it? Don't think so. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Another box there. More people. A few lines, blending that in. Yeah. Just wondering if these people should be higher up actually. Those umbrellas should be there. Like that. That's better. I got them a bit low. I'm going to put a shadow under them like that, I think. And then what I'm going to do, take the eraser and just put a few heads in and things. And then maybe go around it again. That's a bit better. Oh, got way too big. Smudge that a bit so it doesn't look like I've taken the eraser to it too much. So look, squiggles. That is my people. Hopefully when you go back down there to where you would look at it, it looks, a bit more like people. We've got a rail in here as well. Pop that in. That goes off there. Cool. So it's coming together, in it. The boat is coming, sort of blending in these this wall and then the buildings and stuff. Right, let's put this big blue boat in. There, I think maybe a bit closer. Not too high. More like that. There we go. Like these thicker lines in the foreground, it just sort of pushes everything forward. I got inspired to do this painting. I was sitting in a cafe me and Charlotte go to quite often, called the Turquoise Cafe, and I've actually painted a scene sat outside the Turquoise Cafe before, with the owner of the cafe sat there with a cappuccino and a cigarette, and he's got this painting on the wall inside the restaurant. We usually sit outside, but now autumn's coming, it's getting a bit colder, we've sort of migrated to the inside, and got this painting of this it was Paris, actually, a scene of Paris with the Eiffel Tower, and it was done on a grungy background with just sort of black ink or black charcoal and blue, mainly blue washes on it, and it looked so cool, and I thought, I wonder if I could repeat that digitally. I wonder if we could get that kind of feel for it, and that's kind of what I'm aiming at. Let's just move all these along a bit, and let's just block them in, and then take the eraser and oops, make it a bit more even like that. That's it. That's a bit better. And it gets right down there, doesn't it? And then this sort of comes up here a bit. Look, is that all right? No, because this needs. Oh, it's not going to work that way. Let's just draw it. That should be here. Don't know what I was thinking then when I did that. Better. Again, I'm just going to get that in and colour it in. Shade it in, I should say. That's looking better, a bit better. Let's have a look. Yeah. I kind of come too low. Let's push that up a bit. It's tricky, you know, when you draw something that you haven't drawn very often. You have to concentrate, and you know, you can draw one thing really well because you've done it a million times. I suppose my go-to thing is trees. I'm okay with trees because I do them all the time. But boats, not so much. Not so much. And you see that, well, you know, you get landscape artists, don't you? And then you get portrait artists. And you ask them to swap over. I once saw a TV program where they had a cartoonist drawing portraits and then a portrait painter trying to do cartoons. And, you know, neither of them were able to transfer those skills very well. They were both absolutely freaking awesome, though, at their own speciality, you know. I think we're getting there. I think the whole thing needs to be made a bit smaller to get the other boats in, so I'll just keep going as far as I can with the other boats. The only thing I'm worried about with Zenbrush, I'm really worried it's not going to work, this experiment. I'm worried that you can't choose colours. in Zenbrush, you can choose colours, sorry, but you've only got a very restricted palette of colours to choose from. My battery keeps telling me I'm low, but I've got it plugged in now, so too worried. Oh, small it is. I'm just sort of winging this, really. So I'm hoping that the blues that I'm going to add are going to look the part. That's 2i. That's 2i. What is it? Yeah, maybe. But it's the watercolor bit that I'm really excited about doing. I'm looking at this as well. That's kind of wants to go down there a bit. I don't know what that is there. Let's just undo that bit. That bit's right, and this bit's wrong. That's better. And that in a bit, just keep it in sort of keeping with the rest of the drawing. There we go. You know what, I'm going to do what I did before, where I kind of just went right the way across and then cut them out. I think that's easy to do it that way. Later. Down the middle, and one there, and one there. There. Now, I need to shrink the whole thing a bit, so transform, move it along. That's probably enough. I'm just wondering if that's actually level. Yeah, it's near enough. Just like that. We've got this background now. I can see it sort of comes up here a bit. Actually, just put a few lines in for the horizon, and then these are the little boats. I'm only just going to indicate them. I'm not going to go crazy. sort of lighter lines. One last one. In fact, it's not even a full boat there. I'll do. I don't want nice, neat, straight lines. Absolutely not. Lots of bigger boats behind these. You're just going to add the clutter. But we don't want too much clutter, do we? I think that'll do. You know what? I think we're there with the drawing. Maybe a few more masts. That'll do. Wow, that was a mammoth task. Now I've got to see if I can. I've not tried to export this as a layer yet. I just want to export this line drawing and not the grungy background. So go to layers, turn that off. So we've just got that. File, export, PNG, because that's how you're going to get the transparent background. Next, where's it going to put this? I've got to send this to, oh, save image. Awesome. So we should have that image saved to the photos album. Back to Zenbrush. If you remember, if I go to layers, we've just got this empty canvas. What I want to do is bring in all of the grungy layer and the pen layer. So let's do that. So I add a new layer. I'm going to import the pencil line first. Import unable to load items. View and select items. Update your photo library. What? That's better. Click on that. And of course it's sideways. There we are. Got that in. I just move it along a bit. Maybe like that. Good. Bring in my grungy background. So add a new layer. Import grunge. And that should be underneath. It is, because the way Zenbrush works, it imports layers below the one you've just created. So then I'm going to take this layer 1 and move that in between the two. So basically, when I put a colour wash on, we'll cover up the grungy drawing, but not, sorry, the grungy background, but not the drawing. Shall we see if it If it works, oh my god. Let's see. So what I want to do, the reason I'm using this is I can get this water. Look at this, look. And I can just paint water on my boat like that. I've got a puddle of water. Choose some colour. This is what I mean by, I don't think I can double tap it and select another colour or anything. That's the darkest blue I've got. And just tap that in there. Oh, hang on. And start adding colour. Is it working? Why is it not working? Am I on the right layer? Let's see. Oh, I've somehow managed to put that layer at the bottom. So there we go. Look at that. Now let's just undo all of that. I'm going to erase all and start again. Okay. Get the water. And then choose the colour. Paintbrush. Take the brush down to size a bit and just some colour in. Look at it flow. So you can't do this in like real watercolor in any other app. Not like this. You know, there's Realistic Paint Studio's got a nice watercolor engine. I'm just going to choose a bit of black as well to dub that in. Paint up there a bit. Back to that blue. A bit more. And then when I'm happy with that, I just dry it, instant dry. And there we go. Leaving a watermark on there. I didn't think it would do that. That surprised me. Completely dried it. Guess so. Right. All these boats, these want to be wet as well. So take the brush size down a bit. Get some water on the boat. These two boats. Choose the blue. Really zoom in a bit, shouldn't I? And just boom, look at that. I like it. The boat, we've got some red on, so let's dry it again. Can't rotate on this. Get that water and zoom in now and just wet there. Change the colour, and I want this really dark russet colour. Like that. Well, it's more of a alizarin crimson than anything else. What I'm going to do now, dry it and get the eraser and just lift it out a little bit. I'm sort of just lifting it out. Imagine lifting it out with a sponge, wet, damp sponge. to sort of put that water back in. I wonder if I can soften that edge off just with a wet brush. Oh, that's too big. Oh. Doesn't look like it, does it? Now let's dry it. I'm going to wet that again actually, and just pop a bit of blue in it. Let that just do its own thing. I like it. I like it a lot. Buildings then. Rusty coloured buildings. Water. I think I'm just going to wet all of this and then lift out. Just let the colour bleed. I wish you could choose your own colours and you really earthy colours. That'd be cool. What about this colour? That's a bit light, and I know these reds up here are way too. Way too vibrant. I'm mixing a bit of that alizarin colour with the orange. I think that works all right. And soft colour in here. And the blue, I said I wanted lots of blue, didn't I? We can add more water. Let it sort of. It's interesting. Too light though, isn't it? Can you undo? Oh, you do it with this, don't you? If I can get that out. Oh, that's it. That's as many. That's it as you get. Just lift that out. Let's lift that. I essentially want this more blue than anything else. That's my plan. Get some more water on it. Could do the roof lines as well. Right, colour. So I know that I quite like this alizarin. What's happened to the water? Has it dried out? I think that's an happy accident there, you know. Let's add the water again. I'll try and be a bit more controlled and just do little areas. You're going to let me. Why is it drying? Have I changed this? Draw dry. Standard. Let's turn the drying off. Maybe I need to create a new layer or something. Oh, it's bleeding into that anyway. That's all right. As I add the water, look. That very soft, delicate wash is probably enough, you know. sort of. Right, that'll do. Let's try that then. So instant dry. Like it. Now get me a razor and just chisel out a little bit. Tidy it up where I've got colour where I don't really want it. Oops. It's like using real watercolor. This is, you don't just not just jump in with it and get a result. It's a bit too much. Interesting. Lift off the colour of these. There's there. Like it. If I take that eraser down, can I sort of just, oh yeah, acts like a sponge. Really softens those colours. That's dry, I think, so it won't work with that. What about on here? Cool. I like it. Something's telling me that I should really think about adding more layers. But there's something telling me this is way too much fun to worry about layers. It's not that you can use blending modes or anything like that. Let's get that done it again, not. Okay, let me get my colour in first. Oh. And then the water. Push that down a bit to create a shadow effect. Get this eraser. I've got two erasers. One's water. Just sort of soften it up. And then make it smaller and stronger. Then it acts like a tissue lifting colour. Looking at me building and thinking, right, that definitely needs to come out. Look how it just sort of blurs away. That's awesome. And I want a sort of a sharper edge. I want to dry it actually. Let's dry it. Then I should be able to just lift out a softer area. Just to give a bit of impression of shadow. Yeah. I think we just need this pinky colour over all of the bricks. I don't think we need to worry too much. Maybe an orangey colour. So let's wet it again. Oh no, I put the colour on, didn't I? That seemed to work. With this alizarin. And paint a bit of that on. Like so. There. This is a nice palette to be working with. Then choose that water. Just let it flow. Then the eraser. A big brush. Just soften it back again. Look. Almost to nothing. So it's just tinting it. Wow. I need something on these this wall down here, and I'm thinking the blue. Oh yeah. I'm changing my mind. Got some of the alizarin on and the blue. Got the water. Whack on the water, man. Eraser should be about. Knock that back. Right. Don't know what's going off down here. Might get rid of this. Dry it. I like it. I just want to do one more thing. I want to put some highlights in with some white. And I'm wondering if I'm going to have to take this colour out and put that back into Artstudio Pro. I think I'm going to do that. I think I will. So let's export that layer. So I need to go to layers. Turn off the grunge. Oh, look at that. That looks awesome. Looks good like that, doesn't it? Without even the grunge. Turn off the drawing. So we just got this wash. Look at that. Export that. So we come out of this. Export. So at the bottom. Export. We want a PNG, transparent background, save image. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. I'm hoping it does. Back to Artstudio Pro. Turn on my grungy layer again. How do I insert a layer? Can I insert a layer? Add. No. Just does it like that. File, import, export, add preset. Yeah. Insert. No. I wonder if I do this and this, grab the photo along the side, get that and drag that in there. Is that going to work? Import and as a new layer. There we go. That's done it. Is it in the right place? Is it the right scale? Oh, that's a bit of a faff, isn't it? That's it, I think. Click plus. Processing. I don't know where it's put it. I want to make sure it's in the right place. Go, it's put it at the top, and I want it, I guess, there. It's underneath the drawing. Yeah. Right. Layers. New layer. What we got on this layer? Anything? That's the wash layer. Why is it on the top? Oh, I moved it. Pencil layer. So what's this layer? There's nothing on that. I want to change this to white. Just see how the layers are looking. Yeah, that's it. That's on that layer. Okay. I'll just make sure the layer's still right. Okay. So I just want to sketch in a few highlights really. So for example, look at this boat. Maybe a bit thinner. So it's starting to make it pop a bit. Same with this one. So this would be like using white chalk, wouldn't it? Just trying to imagine where the sun would highlight things perhaps a little bit. Definitely on the umbrellas. And there's the odd person's shirt. Sparkly things going off. Definitely this boat here. So I don't want this sort of popping as much. I'm hatching it with wider lines, look. And it just, all of this just sort of brings the whole thing to life a little bit. Side of this building here. Yeah, this bit as well. Just bringing it to life. Put these in as well. That building will look quite good. highlighted. On this. I suppose I could change these colours. You know, I could mute them down a bit in this app if I wanted. Don't know as if I want to though, but I could. Don't know if this is going to work, but we'll see. I think that white's gone underneath the black. Let me layers up. No, still on the top. Okay. There. I think that's pretty much done. That's it. I could keep going. Let's just sign it. So, an experiment with coming up with a painting using multiple apps. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, thumbs up as always is much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I've got lots of videos like this, and I would love to be sharing them all with you. But don't forget, everybody, stay safe, stay sane, and keep painting. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.